new dimensions in jobs and opportunities coming in. I'm not saying for everyone, but yes, for a large number of people, this option could be there where I am chasing my dream and vis-a-vis I am chasing money as well as the titles. Right?
Graduates and postgraduate students, including professionals, are always at crossroads when it comes to picking the type of a career that best suits them. They should find an appropriate, satisfying answer to the which field is best for me, quote unquote, for all those who are looking to make a mark for themselves in career. Here are some practical questions we are going to discuss that need to be answered so that you land in satisfying career. Hello and welcome to the Honest Talk by Freak Folks. I'm Harsh Pandey. For this particular session, our guest will be Professor Sanjeev Bajaj, sir. He is a postgraduate in management with a specialization in finance. He started as an entrepreneur after completing his university education. After failing in his first and only venture, he moved on to the corporate jobs in the field of computer training, software and hardware sales and support. Influenced by his father, who retired as an school principal, Professor Bajaj moved on to the academics as a senior lecturer in Rai University Raipur. He worked with different management institutions of repute in the Eastern India, which includes 11 years in reputed Xavier Institute of Social Sciences. Presently, he is a Dean, Institutional Development and Career Services at Sarala Birla University, Ranchi. So, first of all, sir, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Harsh. Thank you for inviting me for this honest talk. I would be very happy to take your questions, and if my experience can guide a few students or maybe other professionals, then I would be very happy and will feel obliged that at least I have been able to contribute something to the society.
Thank you so much, sir. That's really kind of you, and actually your thoughts are really very awesome. I'm sure that those who are watching this session, they are surely going to get benefited from it. So moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen, is how to make a career choice when you are undecided. Choosing a career is one of the most important decisions you will make in your life. It's about so much more than deciding what will you do to make a living. So in your opinion, what are those crucial things which one should consider when choosing a career? It's a kind of a request to you. Please explain to our viewers.
Yeah. So, Harsh, nowadays the flow of information is quite awesome. And we are discussing this particular topic that how to make a choice of your career.
Right.
I remember the days when we were in school and we have to think of a career. So we were not at the liberty of choosing our career. Right? Rather, our parents and not even the parents, rather neighbors would decide what I am going to study. Because the parents will have a lot of peer pressure and pressure from society, pressure from relatives. And accordingly, they would, tell their wards what to study, what not to study. And coming from a small town, maybe you can call a small village-like town, we had only two choices at that time, engineering and medical. Right. So either I have to appear for pre-engineering test or I have to appear for pre-medical test. Right. And accordingly, you have to choose subject. But nowadays, this particular problem is not with the current generation, because number of choices for any aspiring student who wants to make a career is unlimited.
Right.
Only thing is that you have to have the right, bend of mind. And with the right frame of mind, if you choose, there are unlimited options, I tell you. So when you are undecided, the best thing is do not take a decision when you are completely lost, right? Because in that case, what will happen? You will be taking a decision which is not fully informed, or maybe you are feeling a little depressed, or you may be unstable frame of mind. So the best thing is that you have people around you, right? And when you are undecided, talk to at least 4 people, what I say. So who are these 4 people? First is your teacher. One teacher who is whom you feel the most confident into. Go to that particular teacher whom you respect the most in your school, college, wherever you are, right? Ask some time from him and ask for guidance from him or her. So first thing would be the teachers. Second would be either your parents or one of your relatives whom you respect the most, right? So second person who can guide you, and I know there would be plenty of relatives, those who are in good places, those who are well informed. Even your own parents could be well informed. So maybe sometimes parent could be biased because there is a very simple we see that if I am not able to achieve something, I want to see that thing in my children, right? So suppose if I could not become a doctor, might be I am trying that my son would become or my daughter would become a doctor. So this particular biasness can come from parents, but they always look for betterment of their ward. So
Exactly.
they will never be misguiding you. They will be always guiding you for the best of the options. But this biasness can come, right? And maybe what I am aspiring to do will not match with what my parents want me to do. But we should discuss with them that, okay, I am undecided. What should I do? Third is one of your those friends whom you feel is a real friend, right? There are multiple of friends when you are in college or you are in school, but there would be one friend who is always, we call it as the best friend, right? And he is informed. So that is the third person which you should consult. Now, what about the fourth one? Who would be that fourth person? So if you have any inclination towards any career or any job in your life, whatever bit it could be, right? So reach out to one such professional who is completely unrelated to you. But you know that this person is informed and is of this particular area and he can help me, right? So these are the 4 persons whom you should consult when you are undecided, right? And based on that, because the 4th person is most unbiased, right? And he is well informed and his bend of mind would be similar to yours because you want to make a career in that area. So suppose I want to become a dentist, right? So I should go to a dentist and talk to a dentist about the career choice and speak with him about his honest or her honest opinion that what are the opportunities, what would make me successful, what should I do, what should I not do, right? And that would help us in making the right choice for my career, right? So these are the 4 people one should discuss with when completely undecided.
Indeed, sir. I think you have shared a really very impactful and meaningful way, and also a very simple way to choose and decide when you are totally undecided. So my next question to you is, society has molded us into such a narrow one-dimensional way of thinking because we were raised to believe that the only way of prosperity or was to choose a career path and work our way up that ladder. Don't you think we are always encouraged to chase money and job titles, but never pushed to evaluate and consider what we want our actual lifestyle to look like?
Absolutely. This thing we are talking because it's still in India, especially in the middle class family and lower class family, this because money matters a lot, right?
Yes.
And we have a lot of unfulfilled desires,
Right.
right? So those unfulfilled desires, if you talk to your parents, if I talk to my parents or if I talk to my family members, the one thing which would lead to fulfilling the desires is money. So
Right.
always chasing money would be there, right? And yes, because we have to make a living.
Right.
how long a young child can keep dependent on the family.
Exactly.
How long the parents would continue to support. So after a certain time, the parents would also not be in position to help.
Right.
So this thing of chasing money and titles will remain, but chasing the dreams and making money out of it can also be an option in nowadays, right? With so many new dimensions in jobs and opportunities coming in, I'm not saying for everyone, but yes, for a large number of people, this option could be there where I am chasing my dreams and vis-a-vis I am chasing money as well as the titles, right? It may not happen immediately, but it would certainly happen.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is what I feel.
Indeed, sir. I think this was really a meaningful answer from your side. So my next question to you is, or rather it's a kind of a request to you is, please explain to our viewers, how do you define the importance of networking in both personal and professional life?
Yes. So today, if I am talking to you, Harsh, is only because of networking, right? So we are networked through a professional network, right? And I am discussing with you because we are networked. And I tell you, networking is one such area or one such skill which can bring in a lot of success, opportunity, knowledge, growth, whatever you look into, right? I tell you, in my, not to boast, but to tell you about fact that in my institution, if anybody wants to look for a particular resource person, they would come to me because I have a good network. Now that good network is not only the virtual network I am talking about. I am talking about the network which is there with the physical network with the people, right? And maybe a skill to pick up a phone and call a person, right? So this is a skill which one should have, right? Not hesitating to get connected with people. And if I need a support, I shouldn't hesitate to request for that support. So this is one thing, networking helps you a lot. I give you a simple example of my experience. In 2010 with the XISS, I was given the responsibility of setting up the placement cell, right? Prior to that, there was no centralized placement cell. Now I had no experience in placements, but I was the only person among my colleagues who had a industry background. So having an industry background, this task came to me because all my other colleagues were very high academicians and very good in their field. But the challenge was that they were not connected with the industry, right? So the first thing which came to my mind is networking. That I need to network with the corporate professionals first. Second, the thousands of alumni who are there in the industry, those who have passed out from XISS in last 35, 40 years, and they are still serving. So that one thing, that particular challenge was there, and networking was the only thing which made my task easy. Right. And I reached out to the people, connected with them, and not only for placement, rather for anything. If I am looking for, say, academic help, I would reach out to person, boss, I am looking for academic support, can you help? Right? So this networking is one such thing which plays a very important role in growth of your career. And one should learn the art of networking. And networking requires visibility. Networking requires regular communication. Right. And it also requires communicating when you are not in need. Right. Because what happens, most of us, we communicate only when we need something.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So in that case, that is not our network. That is only our requirement that is pushing me to go and talk to people. Rather, we should be much more active in our networking skills, and we should reach out to people even when we are not in need. Right? In order to support people also.
Exactly. I think you have this point is really very meaningful. And thank you so much, sir, for sharing this point. So my next question to you is, or rather it's again kind of a request to you, please tell our viewers how your life choices will always reflect your morals and beliefs, and how they will aid you in making a deliberate life choice on what is important to you.
Okay, see, everybody should have a moral standard, right? And follow your ethics. Unethical life, immoral life would not, it may give you a temporary richness, right? It can bring you money, but it will never bring you respect.
Exactly.
So if you compromise with your ethics, if you compromise with your conscience, if you compromise with your moral values, then soon you will be out of the place. People will forget you, or rather people will remember you not for your good deeds, rather bad deeds, right? So again, this is very important for one to maintain the ethics and moral values, because maybe somewhere, as we say in our parents used to say, or rather we also teach our children, that आप जो करते हैं वो आपको पे बैक करना पड़ता है. Your karma comes back to you, right? So if karma is nothing but our moral and values. So if I am doing a good deed, it will come back to me, and if I am doing a bad deed, it will also come back to me. So I always tell people that I am a very selfish person. Now, why I am a selfish purpose? Because I am doing good for my own good. So whenever I am doing something good, I always keep in mind that it is going to come back to me. Correct. Right? And that prevents me from doing bad, because again it is going to come back to me. So I am a very selfish person in that way, that I always do good, expecting that good will come back to me. Right? So this is what I expect, that everybody should have this. And if we continue believing in this, that yes, karma will pay here only, then we'll continue doing the good things.
Indeed, sir. This was really a very wonderful answer from your side. I'm truly impressed from your this answer. So my next question to you is, while actually this question I wasn't in a thought of means including in this session, but when I have got your profile yesterday, and while reading this profile, I found that you have been into this entrepreneurship world. So I thought, why not let's include. So that my question to you is, any career path requires training, whether you are an accountant, an office manager, or an airline pilot. Becoming an entrepreneur is no different. The skill required to be good at entrepreneurship are not exclusive. They can be applied to almost any field of work, like in public sector as well as in corporate world. So do you support the idea of entrepreneurial teaching as a part of higher education?
See, yesterday only I was delivering a lecture on entrepreneurship, promoting entrepreneurship among students, right? So Ranchi University has organized a refresher course for faculty members, and we were discussing on this very particular topic, that promoting entrepreneurship among students and how to promote entrepreneurship among students, right? So I believe that yes, entrepreneurs should be the entrepreneurship as a subject, or maybe as a topic. It should be taught from the very school days, not only in higher education. Rather, entrepreneurship should be taught from the early school days, maybe after 8th or 9th class. We should start sensitizing the students towards entrepreneurship. And I was giving this example that since very beginning in India, and maybe rather this is a education system in India, where we used to always, the parents are talking about that you have to study because you have to get a job.
Yes.
Right. So everybody is studying and focused on getting a job after completing the education. So this particular thing should be broken. Right? Rather, we should be teaching everyone should be studying to become self-reliant. Now, this self-reliance can be through a job or can be through entrepreneurship. Right? It is not necessary that everybody should look for a job. And entrepreneurship can be taught in the higher education institutions, but sensitization should start from the early school days. right? So we try to bring in stories, rather like what we do in schools. We tell our children or students about the great people, right? महात्मा गांधी की जीवनी पढ़ाते हैं, we सुभाष चंद्र बोस की जीवनी पढ़ाते हैं. Why not we teach the life lessons of great industrialists also, right? How they made a successful business venture and how they are helping people to get jobs, right? So if we put a story of Ratan Tata, if we put a story of G.D. Birla, if we put a story of Kumar Mangalam, right, in the school level, then that would inspire people that how they are helping thousands of students, or rather thousands of families, to earn their livelihood. So why not? So we need to sensitize students from that stage. So that is the first part. But once they come to the college level, when we are talking about higher education, so entrepreneurship should not be taught as a subject. It should be rather taught as a practical course. Right. The biggest mistake what we are doing in teaching entrepreneurship, that we recommend a book on entrepreneurship, that go buy this book. We ask a question exam, what is entrepreneurship? What are the qualities of entrepreneur? Answer that. Right. This is the biggest mistake which is being done at a higher education level, that we are talking about entrepreneurship. Rather, entrepreneurship should be taught as a practical or life skill course, where we are taking real life examples. We are sending the students to plant visits. We are asking them to conduct real life surveys as if I am launching a product, right? Do market surveys, do studies. So the approach towards teaching entrepreneurship should be changed, right? It should not be taught as an academic course, rather it should be taught as a practical course. This is my take on entrepreneurship. It should be taught, and it must be taught at all academic levels, but not as an academic course, not as a paper where I am going to ask questions that what is entrepreneurship, what are the qualities of entrepreneurship. Rather, we should be teaching our students how to take a bank loan, how to approach a financer, how to make a pitch deck, right? And all these things.
Exactly,
okay.
sir.
How to do research,
Yes.
right? All these things should be taught to the students in the part as a part of entrepreneurship.
Indeed,
Hope
sir.
I am able to answer your.
Of course, you have done. You have done actually very wonderfully. So my next question to you is: we have seen that we are living in actually the very fast-changing world. Sir, my request to you is please tell or share some of your experiences or views, because you have been into the career services. What do you think how industry is changing and the demand of industry is changing, and what are the kind of skills our students must learn in their college days itself to make themselves more ready or more ready with or compatible with the industry demand?
Right. So your question is quite lengthy. So first part, yes, the world is changing very fast, and one has to keep pace with that. If you are not keeping your pace with the change in the environment, then you will be left behind. Right. So you have to keep yourself updated with the changes. And that is one very important thing. Now, if you have to keep yourself updated with the changes happening, so the best way to is to add to your knowledge. Now, the knowledge addition is also happening at a great level, at a very fast pace. And I cannot read everything which is being, added to the world of knowledge. So I have to be very selective. I have to fix my core areas where we want to add value to ourselves.
Right.
And in general, I also have to add value. So say, for example, I'm interested in maybe finance world, right? Or I'm interested in, say, banking world, or maybe financial services in put together. So I have to keep myself updated about the changes happening in the financial services world, how things are moving and how things are happening. So if I tell you that 20 years ago, if I have to get my money from a check, I have to physically go to bank and deposit a check and wait for 20 days if it is an out-of-station check. But those days are gone. Now I present a check, whether it is an outstation check or it is a local check, it has to be cleared in third day, right? This is the practice. So this is what the change is happening. So why this change has happened? How technology has upgraded this, I need to understand. So this is what I'm giving as an example, that my core area of interest would always be there. And I need to update myself in that core area of interest. But I cannot leave that, okay, I am a master of something, so I would not become jack of all. I'm not saying that become jack of all, but keep yourself updated about what is happening around, because your particular niche area is connected to a wider network, right? A wider environment. So anything which is happening in the environment would also have an impact on your core area of interest.
Right.
So you need to understand that. Okay. So if I am saying that the financial services is changing, now why financial services is changing? Because of the mobile technology, because of the data, because of the RBI policy, because of the government mandate. So I need to understand all those things, that the interconnectivity of different things. Right? That is one area. Now, the second part of your question, how do I prepare myself for career? So one of my teachers told me that Sanjeev beta, agar padhoge to wo tumhare muँh se niklega, right? So the only thing which is very important is the knowledge. So I have to add to my knowledge. I have to study. If I want to prepare myself for a career, I have to keep on reading. Right. And now that reading could be reading a physical book, or reading online, or reading through Kindle, or through a smartphone, whatever. But reading is important, and retaining that knowledge, right? Only reading will not do. I have to retain that also.
Exactly.
And I have experienced that if you read, then that would get reflected whenever you are working on a project or any assignment or in any interview. I give you one example. One of my student, this happened somewhere around 2011, if I'm not wrong, or maybe 2012. So there was a company which was into automobile sector, which was coming to the campus, and company decided to come very late for the interview process. It was almost maybe April was approaching, right? And most of the students were placed, a very handful of students were remaining. And the role was a sales role, right? A marketing role. And I had few students left in marketing, specialization in MBA. Now, when I requested company that the number of students in marketing specialization is very less, so can you allow other specializations to give it a try? Then HR was very, adjusting and cooperating. They said, as long as they are ready to work in sales, I don't mind whether a student is of finance, HR, information technology, or rural development. I don't mind. Right? If they have a marketing orientation, I am happy and I would allow them to appear for this interview process. And what happened? The marketing student took it for granted that since it is a marketing role and a sales role, so we have already studied, and students of IT, finance, HR, or rural management won't have any advantage over us. And this is a cakewalk for us to get placed in this reputed company, which is a very large automobile company, right? And with a very nice compensation. And at the end of the interview process, what happened? Can you predict, Harsh? None of the marketing students got placed, and the company hired 3 professionals from the campus. One was a finance specialist, one was an IT specialist, and one was a rural management student, and that to a girl. Now, why this happened? Because on first hand, the students, the first set of students, the marketing specialized students, they were, in their false ego that, or maybe a false aura that this is a, job meant for them only, right? Whereas this student which got placed from finance, he was very comfortable with the financial analysis of different companies. So what he did when he came to know that XYZ company is coming, So he said that I cannot, learn everything about marketing. So what he did, he downloaded 5 years of company's balance sheet,
Okay.
right? And annual reports, and he studied everything out of it, right? That how the company's sales performance has been into different segments, how the company has made profits and everything. He analyzed everything out of it. And he added a lot of knowledge to his skill set. Now, when he was being interviewed, about the first question, he said that, and the person asked him that what you have prepared. He said, boss, I am not a marketing guy, so I don't know much about marketing, but yes, I have done company's financial analysis. And the person interviewing was a very senior professional sales guy. So he asked him some questions about sales of the company, which he answered very, very, efficiently, giving all sales figure about inventory build-up, changes in sales, about cars and other vehicles, everything he told very clearly. And the person got impressed that, yes, this guy is good at numbers and he can make, because he has dedicated his time in doing this job. The second person, but he was passionate about cars and bikes. You ask him any car in the world or any bike in the world, he can give you a complete, you can call him a Wikipedia of cars and bikes, okay. Right? He's so enthusiastic about cars and bikes. So he got placed because of this particular skill, his knowledge about this company. He told everything about the different models which were launched by this company over last 15-20 years, their engine capacity, their performance, power, everything. Right? So this guy got placed because, yes, he was good at those numbers. And the third girl, which was at the most disadvantage, first being girl, because girls are least preferred in a sales job in automobile company, right? And the second thing, she was from a rural management background, development professional. But there was a 20 days gap between the company's announcement for job and interview.
Okay.
In 20 days, this girl left no stone unturned to learn about marketing. She, in fact, irritated every single faculty by asking questions.
Okay.
Right. She made a point that anybody who can help me to understand marketing, to understand this XYZ company, she made a point that she's reaching out to him or her and learn about marketing. Right. So this passion about knowledge made her success. Right. And still she's working. She has changed the job after that, and now she's working in Calcutta with the another company in automobile sector. And it's almost a decade, and all three of them are in automobile sector and very successful. Right? Yes. So this is what I'm saying in a nutshell, that you have to prepare yourself for a job if you are interested in a job, or you have to add skills and knowledge, and the knowledge will speak when you are sitting in an interview. But if you haven't updated yourself, then you will be saying only one word, that is, sorry, sir, I don't know. Right? And if you repeat this, sorry, sir, I don't know, more than 3 times in an interview, you are doomed.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So you would agree with me on this particular point.
Yes. Exactly, sir. It was a really very wonderful answer from your side, and the example which you have taken, I'm sure the viewers who are watching this session, they are surely going to find this.
I gave an example because it is a real life example, and I have seen in front of my eyes that how oneself prepare for a interview in career services. If you have to succeed, then you have to prepare yourself like this.
Indeed, sir. This was really a meaningful answer. And sir, thank you so much for joining and giving your important time. I'm sure there's a lot more to learn from you, but today we are constrained by time. So we must have to wrap up this session. Thank you so much, sir, for joining and giving your important time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harsh, for inviting me. And I would be very happy to come again on this platform. Sure, and wish a very bright future for your platform and for your entrepreneurial venture. All the best, Harsh.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
On the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone.